Hello, business building warrior. My name's Jim. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio, the podcast that features hundreds of interviews with successful e-commerce warriors who have built beautiful businesses using the strategies taught on this show. That's right. This is home of the best Amazon seller training and the best e-commerce leadership team in the world from my vantage point. Now, I know I'm biased, but we've been doing e-commerce coaching for over 20 years. We've got hundreds and hundreds of stories of people we've interviewed on this show. We got 2,500 success posts in our free Facebook group. You can get links and details on all that at silentjim.com. That's silent, J-I-M, that's me, silentjim.com. Get over there, see our free Facebook group. Jump in there. We're about to hit 80,000 people in that free Facebook group. We're about to hit 1,000 episodes of our podcast. We were recently voted the best podcast for Amazon sellers in the industry by independent third-party voting that went out and surveyed the entire selling community on Amazon. We love Amazon. We love Walmart. We love selling on eBay, any e-commerce opportunities. We talk about it around here. We love sharing what works. We love interviewing the students who are doing well. Today's no exception. I've got a great leader on our team, Elizabeth Aronson. Now, we've got about 60 coaches on our team, and she's one of them. She's very involved in several different projects. She's got a great business selling on Amazon as well, also selling on Walmart. We dive into all of that. All the leaders on our team, the coaches on our team, they have successful businesses, and they carve out a little bit of time on the side to help coach and mentor one-on-one the people who say, hey, I want to coach. I want to go further faster. So if you want to go further faster, you hear Elizabeth's story today and you think, man, I wouldn't mind working with someone like that to go further faster in my e-commerce business. Give us a call. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's see if it's a good fit. Go to silentjim.com/book a call. You'll see all the details. You can text us, jump on our schedule, or right on that page, you'll see a coaching link as well. Just click it, takes you to the same place, silentjim.com. All right, so let's talk about Elizabeth a little bit, then we'll get her on the line. I just finished my conversation with her. She is involved in a lot of stuff. She's one of the great coaches on our team. Like I said, she'll be at the Proven Conference. We spent some time talking about that. The last 3 days of May 2025, we're going to be in Orlando, Florida. Theprovenconference.com is the website. It'll be in the show notes as well. Get your tickets. Join us. Come down a few days early, stay a few days late. You're going to see a lot of people in our community, hundreds. We used the same resort last year. We had about 800 to 900 people there last year. We're expecting a great crowd again this year. Come on down. It's going to be beautiful right next to SeaWorld. We're going to have over 40 breakout sessions for all levels and all different strategies of success in e-commerce. Elizabeth's going to be doing some of the presenting. She'll be talking about Walmart, talking about flipping from Amazon to Walmart. Incredible topics. She's doing really well. She does about 70% Amazon and about 30% Walmart right now. That's how her numbers break down. And she's really doing well. She said her net margins on Amazon to Amazon flips right now, which is another thing she's doing, are almost 30%. She's between 25 and 28% net margins on Amazon to Amazon flip. If you're thinking that game is too difficult, there's nothing I can sell, Elizabeth is one of the great people you can listen to, along with dozens of other recent students in our community who have been on our show that give example after example after example of all the incredible ways that you can find great inventory and build a beautiful business. It's a very small operation that Elizabeth has, meaning it's just her virtual assistant. She's doing so many things as well because she's automated. She's built systems, so she's able to do so many things as a one-person show. She's also very involved in our 3P Mercury project. If you're not familiar with that, get over to silentjim.com/the-system. Now, why would you want to check that out? Here's why. Because Khang, the guy who developed that 3P Mercury software, he built it so he could fully automate his multi-million-dollar Amazon Replens reselling business. He doesn't do anything. He checks his stats on his phone when he feels like it. He's got a virtual assistant, someone in his warehouse. The whole thing churns with just that software. Pretty incredible, right? Well, we've had a few hundred people go through the beta test of that software over the last year. We've had a bunch more people sign it up recently, and we are in the process of launching it out publicly. And you can completely automate the workflow of your Amazon and very soon, within a few weeks from now, your Walmart selling business as well, all with one software. silentjimdotcom/the system gives you details on that. Little side note, my favorite podcast episode of the past few years is number 754. It's my interview with Khang, and he really speaks from the heart, and you're going to love this guy as you get to know him. So go check that out as well. All right. Well, I think that's enough of an introduction. You're going to hear all kinds of cool things from Elizabeth today. Like I said, a great leader, great coach on our team. She'll be presenting at the conference, and you're going to enjoy getting to know her a little bit. She was on our show about 9 months or so ago, but it was great having her back for an update because she's doing so well and really helping so many of our students build beautiful businesses. We'll talk a lot about that on today's episode. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Let's get Elizabeth on the line right now. Well, Elizabeth, good to see you again, my friend.
Yes, good to see you.
Excited to have you back on the show. I think listeners always enjoy getting updates from people they heard from not too long ago, see how things are going. And I know you've been on quite a journey the last year or so. So let's do a quick recap. How about that, of kind of how you got into all this and then how it's going now. And let's just unpack your story a little bit.
Okay. So, how I got started was I started on eBay many, many years ago when people actually had to send me a check in the mail. I sold like some silver coins for a friend, just did that briefly. And then flash forward like 15 years later, I started selling used books on Amazon and got into RAOA in 2021 and found your group, I think at the end of 2021.
Okay.
Jumped right into coaching, jumped right into everything. So yeah, that's where we left off last time. Actually, the last time I was on the show, I was a brand new coach. So I've been coaching since, gosh, I guess that would have been around July. Yeah.
So
well, no,
8 months or so, you've been coaching with us, something like that,
yeah,
going on 9
maybe
months.
maybe a little longer because it was right after the last conference that I did the show. So
That's right.
yeah, so I've been coaching and I'm loving that. I love helping people and seeing them succeed and hearing the success stories is just, I really do enjoy that part, and just being able to hear, and you make friends. I've made some friends that way, and just the connections and the relationships is what that's all about.
It happens so much. And I used to think it was just kind of a little ancillary side comment people make it. Yeah, I'm making some great relationships. Then I started noticing the people who do well are the people who say things like what you just said. So I started looking into it, and there's some very strong, undeniable connections between the people who intentionally build relationships and the people who succeed, not just in business, but in life in general. So
Absolutely.
I've started just pounding on that point. Like, if you aren't intentionally seeking out great people, and I know that's just come naturally to you. Some people have it in their skill set and personality, others don't. Doesn't matter, irrelevant. If you're uncomfortable doing it, do it anyway. If you're comfortable doing it, do it. Right? It's one of those things. But so do you have any specific stories? Not to throw any curveballs at you, but you said you've met some good students and you've built some relationships. Maybe you don't have to give any specific names if you don't want to, but give me some examples of kind of how that's fed into business, your business doing well or their business doing well because of these relationships.
Okay, I know a couple in particular who I'll say their name because they said my name on their podcast. So
okay, there we go.
Mark and Jamie Goyette. And they have a little prep center. They actually started prep before they started selling.
That's right. Unusual for sure.
Yes. So they kind of went into like that. But I got to watch them from, the beginning of their selling. And then, they send me the message that they had their first, this amount of sales in a day. And I was like, woo, exciting. And then it was just, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks later, I get the second email where that had doubled. And they're like, it just keeps getting better and better. It's like, you need to be posting this in the group so that people can see your success. And so I really enjoy working with them. And I've sent other students who have asked me about prep centers. I was like, well, go check them out, and when you build that relationship, there's different aspects of the business that you can rely on each other and recommend each other for. So, yeah, they're probably the first ones that pop in my mind.
Yeah, and then that's a beautiful example. And I'm going to put you on the spot again. I like putting our coaches on the spot a little bit. I've been known to, like at our conferences, for example, I'll like be looking over the crowd and see a coach I haven't connected with yet at the event. I'm like, get up here, teach us something. You give us a minute of your time. Teach us something we don't know. I love doing that. So I'm going to do that here. Now,
Okay.
you mentioned the value of getting in the group and giving your progress updates, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's something you
Mm-hmm.
challenge them to do. Why is that important? What would you say? I mean, I know what I would say. It's not like there's one right answer I'm going for here, but why would you encourage someone to do that? What's behind that? To get into the Facebook group, there's 80,000 people or approximately in that group right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see some people just jump right in and boldly have conversation. Other people sit back and they're timid. They don't share. When they have a big day, they kind of maybe tell their spouse, but they don't post anything, right? Why is that important? What would you see? What would you say to that?
And I told them, I was like, it just encourages others who are newer sellers to see this is how long you've been selling. I think it was only like 6 months at the time. And they had a pretty big day.
Mm-hmm.
And it encourages new sellers to be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, we can do this. You
Yeah.
put the work in, you put the time in and the effort in, and you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. If we're going to be abundance-minded community, that's a big part of it. I think there's a self-serving element to it too as well, Elizabeth. See if this resonates with you. Talking about relationships, putting yourself out there. If you can build confidence in others that you're someone who's heading in a good direction, you're going to have other people gravitate to you that otherwise wouldn't have. They're going
Right.
to PM you like, "Hey, I see you're right here, near me in Indianapolis. I had no idea you were right here. How about we hang out sometime and swap ideas? And there's a couple other people I know of in the area. Let's get to, so those kind of things start happening.
Right.
Someone who only shows up to complain, those kind of things don't tend to happen as much.
Right.
People kind of
Yeah.
repel from, toxic negativity. Not that we don't want to hear your problems and help you solve them, but if that's the only thing you ever bring to the group, it's a
Right.
different experience versus what you are encouraging, Elizabeth, is get in there, share your updates, share your progress. Hey, we just had a great day. Hey, we just found 18 great ASINs today that we're excited
Right.
to test. That's great because that's going to
Yeah.
attract, not only just encourage, like you mentioned, Elizabeth, but attract people to you who say, hey, you seem to be heading somewhere. Hey, let's do this together. Let's hitch our wagons together on this. And you've done a
Yeah.
good handful of those kind of things. Projects.
Absolutely. And then they just, you can form a little mastermind or something like you were saying
Right.
with local. And next thing you know, you have lifelong friends and business partners.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of the event. We're the longest running e-commerce, or excuse me, Amazon seller event in the industry, right? We've got our 13th, 14th coming up. Can I remember? 11th version of the book, 14th conference. I think that's it. Anyway, I'll walk up to these little groups of people and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. They're getting to know each other. Like, hey guys, mind if I butt into your six-way conversation here? Like, yeah, Jim, come on in. And like, how do you guys know each other? You getting connected? Like, oh, we've been meeting for 5 years
Mm-hmm.
every Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Zoom. And now we're finally together in person. We met at a conference 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's amazing to me. And it's not just about e-commerce at that point. It opens up so many other doors, so many other opportunities. We've had people get hired with huge companies, form partnerships across the globe and all kinds of incredible things. But you got to get out of your comfort zone. And I didn't intend to go here with this, Elizabeth, opening up, but you've done such a great job with it. And I know you encourage others too. So I think it's worth spending a couple minutes on. If you've never posted in our Facebook group, if you've just kind of been lurking, you're getting the 5% of the experience of what you should be getting out of that group. It's free. Come on, jump in. All right.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
beat people up enough, maybe, unless you have anything else you want to pile on.
No, I think you did it. You did a good job.
Okay. Yeah, we tag teamed on that one. Very good. So you're a coach on our team. You're doing this business actively, which we require of all of our coaches. You're doing the business successfully. You're very involved in 3P Mercury, the system, silentjimdotcom/the system. If you want to check that out. Where do you want to go next?
Yeah. So, I mean, we could talk 3P Mercury. I was in the first beta group and really started to learn it and really liked it when I started to see how I could eliminate. Well, the first thing that I could eliminate was all the Google Sheets because I have Google Sheets all over the place, and having everything in one spot was like probably the biggest selling point to me at first. And so I just was like, I'm going to really learn this. And I just went in and learned it and learned it and learned it. So now I'm using it every day in my business, every feature, the restock feature, the, buy list, everything. And I've done some coaching sessions specifically on 3P Mercury. And I really do enjoy doing that. People just getting into it and want, like if they want to call it like an onboarding session or something like that.
Right.
And just showing them the high level overview of what I'm doing with it. And people are loving it. Really.
They really are. It's groundbreaking stuff. I think we're about to change the way reselling happens on Amazon. We're a few hundred users right now, but I think it'll be significantly more than that in the coming months, year or two.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to have a real impact because for the first time, you can completely automate the process and you can build a system that you could hand off to someone else.
Right.
As a reseller, you've got a viable asset now instead of this hamster wheel that you've got to run every day.
Exactly.
Right. And no, you've helped a good handful of people on board. I wouldn't mind hearing from, because I haven't done that yet. I haven't helped anyone on board. My team onboarded. I don't know if they worked with you or with Khang directly. I'm not sure, but we're fully on that. We got rid of all of our spreadsheets. I was a spreadsheet nerd on our team. I was very proud of our spreadsheet maze. And when something broke, they would email me. I'm like, oh man, here I go. Going diagnosing broken spreadsheets. They're supposed to be talking to each other, right? And I'm glad to get rid of it. I spent a lot of time in it, but I was glad to turn them off and go. But you've helped a lot of people transition from whatever Frankenstein system or as a brand new seller. I wouldn't mind hearing your perspective on that too. Brand new. Do I need 3P Mercury? Seems like overkill, right? So just talk me through some of those stories of new people or people you've helped transition and how difficult is that? What challenges do you face in kind of flipping that switch?
Well, so I feel like brand new sellers really can thrive just starting out with 3P Mercury.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's just there. Why not start with the whole enchilada right there in front of you? Because like when I came into it, I've been on leads lists. I've had my own Google Sheets and I had to import them and all of my inventory from Inventory Lab. I had to, all of my past buys for 4 years, I had to import, and it was a beast. And it can be done. And so, if you're an experienced seller and you have all that and you're looking to get into this tool, it's doable and we can do it. But if you are a brand new seller, I say start right away with it. Because when I first started selling, if I would look at a lead and it wasn't either like it wasn't profitable right now or, based on the buy box, or like I didn't have a source for it, or maybe I was gated, I would just throw that lead away and move on to the next
It's
one.
gone forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now I look back at that and go, oh man, if I still had those leads, because I'm sure I'm ungated in it by now.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there was a time it was profitable. Just because when I first looked at it. So I had to change my mindset and just realize a lead is a lead, and I kind of had to put a little mental picture in my mind, like the old salesmen back in, I don't know, the 60s or the 50s where they had their Rolodex and they just had all their number in their Rolodex. That's what a lead is. Some of those people are going to say no. Some of them are going to be yes, and some of them are going to be at a later time. And so that's
and
how
some
I
of them come back from like, okay for now, and then not okay. Okay now, not okay. Right? It's like this cycle. They run this cycle. Khang built his whole $3 million business on that whole cycle. It's like, if an ASIN's good ever,
right,
again at some point, and I'm just going to put it in the system and let it track and let me know when that moment in time happens. Right?
Absolutely,
it really does change. It takes all the emotion out of the process.
Right. Especially when you start, uploading, like, I don't want to give all the secret sauce away, but, you can run these searches on Keepa and use another tool and then put all those leads into 3P Mercury and then run your filters and find out when they're profitable.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just one strategy. The thing I like to point out is that's one strategy. Ride it up, stop selling it as it starts to dip. We're using, and I'm very excited right now, and I know couple of the great coaches on our team, Brian and Robin Joy, spend a lot of time coaching on the above buy box strategy. Like I'm looking for something completely different in Keepa. I'm looking for underserved shelf space. I'm not looking for price trends, right? As much as I'm looking for, I mean, we've used examples, and this is my favorite example of the many that I have access to, of a new coaching student who was selling alongside 200 other sellers on an ASIN, and he was the highest price. And you think, in what universes does he make any sales ever as the highest price with 200 people on the ASIN?
Right.
All training out there that I'm aware of for Amazon sellers would say, you're nuts. Get away from that product. But he was selling it for $15 and everyone else was $7, $8, $9. I don't know how anyone makes money selling stuff for $7, $8, $9. But he was the highest price seller, sold 2,400 units in a few weeks.
Wow. Nice.
Because he was one of only a few FBA sellers. That's an underserved shelf space in Amazon's warehouses. Everyone else is shipping it from their garage. He sent it to the warehouse network. Amazon spread it out across the country. People said, I want it in 2 hours or 4 hours or by tomorrow morning. I don't want to wait 2 or 3 days. And he just cleaned up because there's only a handful of FBA sellers, right? So you can search Keepa for that too. So, this whole ride the price wave, fill the underserved shelf space, get exclusive deals with brands because they want to get out of the chaos of having a bunch of resellers all over the product. Okay, let's work with them and so all these doors of opportunity start to open up to you, different strategies but so we love giving away the secret sauce too. Search Keepa, get a big list, let the tool do its thing.
I've been doing a lot of A to A, Amazon to Amazon flips.
That's right. You might be presenting on that. We were just talking before we hit record at the conference. We're kind of pulling these breakout sessions together, right? Talk to me about that a little bit. How are you doing that and how's it going?
I love it. I will say Amazon takes their own invoices or receipts really easily and really nicely.
You would hope so.
For any kind of issue. I had an issue come up and with a thing I was selling, and I sent in that receipt. Within minutes, the violation was taken away from my account. And I do really like the safety of that. Obviously there's things that you need to learn before you go out and start doing some Amazon to Amazon flips. You need to not use Prime benefits and, et cetera, et cetera.
Did you set up a separate business account to use to buy? Yeah. Okay. That's what I found most people. That's what we typically suggest. And the other big suggestion is, like you alluded to, is you only buy from Amazon. If there's 15 sellers and Amazon's one of them, that's the only one you're going to buy from. No one else. Because like you said, if the authenticity of that inventory is challenged, you can say, I bought it from you, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, okay, thumbs up. Right. Exactly. Whereas if it's one of the other third-party sellers, they may have to investigate that seller. Turns out they're buying counterfeit liquidation lots from Big Al's Toy Barn down the street, and that's not legitimate inventory, right? Yeah. And now you're in the same trouble that they're in. So only buy from Amazon. I know there's people out there that kind of skirt that rule and they've gotten away with it for a while, but that doesn't mean they always will. And we've heard some disaster stories. So only buy from Amazon. But what are you looking for? Like when you're looking for an A to A flip, Amazon to Amazon, buy it from Amazon, turn around and flip it right back. What kind of indicators are you looking for?
So there's a couple different things. One would be if Amazon is struggling to stay in stock.
Love it. Do you use the OOS search?
You can do that. Yes.
I love it. I love that field. I'm so proud of that one too, because we went back and forth with them for a while to get them to figure that one out. I love it.
Oh, really? Really? That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's one that we suggested, the OOS. Yeah. There's two fields that we've added to the Keepa data product finder page. And there's one more we're working on right now that we're really excited about. And we've got their ear. So the OOS, because they used to tell us what percentage of the time is Amazon out of stock. They've had that a long time. Right. But I said, is there any way you could tell us how many times specifically? Count the gaps in the orange shading, right? How many times have they run out of stock? That's a searchable number now, just as the past 4 or 5 months, they turned that on at our request. Yeah. So I love to hear people using it.
Yes, I love, that's probably my favorite one, especially during Q4, because I was, doing like a lot of toys and that kind of stuff. So anything that Amazon's struggling to keep in stock, you can just order it right from Amazon. and send it right back in, or merchant fulfill if you're, if it's really hot, like in Q4. And there also sometimes they just have deals. A lot of times they are price matching. Their bot is just going out there and price matching another supplier. So they will just drop their price and you can buy it low and the price will recover. Sometimes it can recover in a week. Sometimes it might be a little bit of a more holding situation where you might have to hold it 30 or 60 days. But I just hold it here where I'm not paying, at my house where
No
I'm
storage
not
fees for that. Yeah,
exactly where I'm not paying any storage fees. And then once the price starts to recover, send it in.
that's right. And
And so I'm
another one, not to derail us, but this is that's like the proven discontinued sourcing. I don't know if you're doing any of that or not. That course just came out.
Yep.
Another mind-blowing concept. What if you knew ahead of time what was about to be discontinued, that is a really fast-selling product that people really want to get their hands on, they're willing to pay more for, and you bought a bunch of it. Just strategy after strategy after strategy in this community for finding great inventory. But I don't want to get too far off A to A. I just want to throw that out there. Like, there's so many ways to do this business and do well.
Absolutely.
So how much of your business, share some numbers with us? Like, how much is A to A? How much is traditional RAOA? Just kind of trying to find the winning ASINs based on, winning the buy box kind of thing.
I am probably at close to about 70% A to A.
Oh, wow. Cool. You've really transitioned into that.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. We're seeing more of that.
I'm finding really good profit margins in it.
Give me some numbers. Like, what's a good month? Like total
um,
dollar volume and percentages. Just round numbers are fine, but pull it up if you need to.
I'm looking at my spread. Well, I have a VA who helps me with VD, 8A. So I don't want to share a spread, say that we need more spreadsheets, but she gives me this leads on a spreadsheet. So here I've got a net profit on this one item of $13, and it has 50 plus sales a month. And there was only 2 FBA sellers, and there was multiple variations with the same price drop. So that one lead,
help me multiple variations
with the same price drop. So
okay,
if it was,
they all drop together.
They all drop together. So we'll say if it was a shoe, size 10, 11, and 12 all drop together. Right. So this is not just one lead now.
It's not just one variation. It's multiple leads. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because the price travels together. Right. Yeah. Variations scare off a lot of people, but once you know how to read it, it shouldn't be scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with the new, the 50 plus sales a month, the yellow line, it's relatively new.
Yeah. And Amazon does tell us on some of the ASINs exactly how many times per month different items sell. You can be very confident in that number. If they don't give you that, you can go on drops, keep it drops, right? Mm-hmm. This is all the stuff we train on. All that's cool. So A to A, you're doing well with it. Any particular categories that you like?
Automotive, which is
interesting.
Yes, I know. I know nothing about cars. Like you said, Keepa helps you and take all the emotion out of everything. Yeah. I know nothing about cars. Yeah. I know nothing about car parts. I just look at the Keepa chart, and I've never sold it prior to doing A to A. I've never sold in that category. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Some of the worst advice. It sounds like good common sense advice when people are saying things like, follow your passions or sell something you love to sell. Like, no, that's terrible advice, actually. Right. Find good-looking ASINs. So you want to make some money on Amazon? Look at the Keepa charts.
Right.
The product you're actually selling is an afterthought. There's many products we've sold. They've come and gone through our catalog, and I've looked at the Keepa chart, and I've studied the numbers. But if somebody showed me the product and said, do you guys sell this? I'd say, I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. What are you talking about? It's like, oh, you've sold 80 of these in the past 4 months in your Amazon account. Like, really?
Yeah.
never seen it before in my life, because the picture is irrelevant. The product is irrelevant. Whether I'm passionate about or interested in that niche is completely irrelevant. It's a boring set of data, and you can analyze it in a number of about a dozen different ways to find out if it's something you want to test or not. Phenomenal.
like you said, it's just the data. You just need to learn how to read and interpret the data. Like I said, I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about car parts or,
Yep.
so I don't need to be an expert in that. I just need to be the expert in the data
Yep.
that I'm looking at.
That's exactly right. We've hit a lot of bases already, but I know you're also doing some work with Walmart too. How's that going?
I love Walmart. And actually Amazon to Walmart flips is another one that's really good and really, really profitable. So yeah, Walmart is going really good. I'm probably at about 30% Walmart, 70% Amazon.
Wow, that's a pretty healthy split.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Now, just
Mm-hmm.
to be clear, and see if you agree with me on this analysis. Still, you're doing more coaching these days than I am by far. Like I'm kind of coaching the coaches. I'm spending most of my time with the coaching team leaders. It's like this whole ascension of leadership thing that like you got to do it right, or the organization stops growing. So I used to be the only coach in the Jim Cockrum coaching organization, and I haven't at this point coached anyone in probably 5 years.
Wow.
Except the coaching team leaders. And
Right.
I'm not as good at it as the coaches are because I don't do it anymore. Right. But as you're seeing these coaching students who are going through this process of, okay, we tell everyone start on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of where I'm at. See if this still rings true with you. Once you've got your Amazon momentum, I'm talking about like 10,000, maybe 15,000 your first month where you've hit those kind of numbers,
Mm-hmm.
it's time to divert a little bit of your attention over to start thinking about Walmart. It's never really too soon to sign up for a Walmart account. I just don't want you to get too many plates spinning, right? Would you kind of echo that sentiment? It used to be I'd like to see you get up to 30 to 50,000 before you start looking around. Now I'm like,
Right.
let's diversify a little sooner because you might need it. You might get a 2 week section 3
Right.
review and you panic and you're like, oh no, or you get back a lot of 25 items that you thought were going to sell and you can't sell them now. What am I going to do with this? Right. It's nice to have an answer to those kind of questions a little earlier on in the game. What are you telling people? What are you seeing? Does that ring true with you?
I think, yes, I agree. Because the velocity obviously is much more on Amazon than it
Right.
is
It's
on.
like 10 to 1. Is what,
Yeah,
is that about right?
yeah, that's what I'm hearing is about 10% velocity.
Yeah. Of
Walmart
Amazon.
has about 10% of the velocity is Amazon,
Hmm.
but they are pushing.
They
They
are.
want I actually had a survey come into my email box asking me if I sold on Amazon and
Mm,
asking me if I would recommend others to sell on Walmart. So they're pushing.
they are.
But so yeah, I would agree if you need your capital to turn over faster, Amazon is definitely where to go. But once you have a little bit and you want to diversify, spread yourself out that inch deep, mile wide, even more, Walmart is absolutely the place
Yeah.
to go. And
And
find,
I put it above eBay even too. Do you?
oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Good. Okay. Yeah, 'cause that's where I'm at as well. eBay's kind of the third place. And we got some
Hmm.
people doing well with eBay, but typically they're doing some pretty creative strategies to get their hands on some unique inventory. Right.
Right, right.
And we love eBay, but
Yeah,
it's not what it used to be. They're not the dominant force they used to be. Walmart is the up and coming. Amazon is the
absolutely.
giant. Walmart's growing faster than anyone. That's number one and two in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when I source a lot of things that I source, I can sell on Amazon and Walmart.
Hmm.
So, maybe I'll send in 7 to Amazon and 3 to Walmart type of a thing, just to test and see where is this going to do better. And then I
Hmm.
can put my focus there because there's a different market. The people are a little different who shop Amazon than who shop Walmart, or they think differently. Walmart is really big for certain items. Think about going to the Walmart store, the same thing's going to sell online, where Amazon is just a little bit different marketplace.
Yeah. Walmart's not trying to be the everything store just yet.
No, no,
Whereas
exactly.
that's Amazon's, it's in their description what they want to be. Yeah, advantages and disadvantages to both. And I think they blend together beautifully. And I am rooting for Walmart
Yeah.
to hold Amazon's feet to the fire and
Yes.
just, so the fees and the inconveniences. Suddenly, if there's a whole bunch of us going, oh man, it's so fun to sell on Walmart, but man, Amazon, you're a lot of work. They might start listening, like, okay, wait a second, because I'm old enough to remember, and you are too, when Amazon came in and did to eBay
Yeah.
what Walmart's taking a shot at doing to Amazon right now. And it was a fun ride for me. I mean, it's like, hey, as a reseller, I get the best of both worlds. I'm watching these giants duke it out, not really
Yeah.
caring who wins, because
Right.
either way, I'm going to win.
Right.
But every time one of them lands a body blow, it's good for me because they're holding each other accountable, holding each other honest. I think one of the reasons Amazon froze fees this year was because of the pressure from Walmart, right? So there's good things on the horizon for us as resellers. From my vantage point, it's nothing but good to see these giants duking it out. As a shopper too, more options. Beautiful. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, we mentioned 3P Mercury earlier, the system, silentjimdotcom/the system. Walmart functionality is coming. Excited for that because as someone who's doing both,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
talk me through what your routine is with Walmart now and what you're anticipating changing once integration is inside all one tool.
Yes.
Help me think through that.
Okay. So, I'm back to Google Sheets with Walmart.
Walmart's Google Sheets. Okay.
It's Google Sheets or Excel sheets, whatever you use. And so once again, I'm back to when I source, I have to put it on my sheet. And then when I send it in, I have to go back and look at my sheet and look at my price. And it is much more daunting. And so I am looking forward. I actually just had a call with Khang and Ryan Otwell, who's helping with some A2A stuff.
Right.
Today, actually, right before my call with you. And Khang was saying that he's thinking a couple months the Walmart stuff will be done.
Yes.
And I am really, really looking forward to that. Just I'm not sure how he's exactly going to do it, if it's going to be two separate leads lists. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to look like, but I am looking forward to just getting rid of those Google Sheets, finding my replens for Walmart and just restocking them and just automating. Because like you said, automation for Amazon, it's there. And we're, with System and 3P Mercury, we're seeing this happen, but Walmart is very time consuming. It is much, much more time consuming than selling on Amazon. And if I can cut my time in half, once the Walmart component of 3P Mercury is there, I will be very, very excited.
I've heard the vision is basically make Walmart just another distribution center that you send stuff to.
Right.
Right. And so that leads me to believe, I think we're heading towards just one big list of SKUs, products, whatever you're selling.
Yeah.
You sell it on Amazon, it's got an ASIN. If you sell it on Walmart, it's got its number for that. You could sell it on both, right? And Walmart's just another place where you ship stuff when it makes sense to do so.
Absolutely.
And I'm very excited for it as well. Just I feel like we're such on the cutting edge of what's going on in the reselling world, and this community has pulled together some beautiful projects, and it's so fun to have a front row seat to see these things develop. These great leaders, collaborating to build these new tools, and we're on the cutting edge of this stuff. So you're going to be coming to the conference in May. We talked before we got the conversation rolling today. You're going to be presenting a little bit. We just shaped this out like right before we hit record, but talk to people about the event a little bit. Who should come? Why should they come? What can they expect? Now that you've been a little bit a part of this thing, fill us in a little bit from your perspective, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. I think everybody should go. If you are able to go and you have the time, I think it's well worth it. We've all said, or we've all heard, the classes and the presenters and the breakout sessions, they're phenomenal, but the relationship that you make, like you had mentioned, either meeting somebody for the first time or just relationships that you make there, the networking that you do outside in the hallway or at dinner, those kinds of things are worth their weight in gold. And anybody from a brand new seller to a very experienced seller, like I don't plan on not ever going. I'm just.
How many have you been to?
This will be my fourth one.
Fourth.
Yeah.
Very good.
And actually, the very first one that I went to, I had made a connection with a gal in Michigan, and we Marco Poloed just about every day for a really long time. And we met face to face for the first time at the conference.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
yeah. So any relationship like that, or even new relationships that you might make at the conference, because I don't know if you guys are planning on having your mastermind groups again this year.
Yeah, the
Or,
VIPs, if you come
yeah,
VIP, you get assigned a mastermind group based on your answers to survey questions. That we kind of put a lot of thought and time into matching people up. We actually kind of gather around like, I think this person would go good over here. Oh, look, these guys are practically neighbors. Like, okay, they've got to be on the same mastermind, right? So we spend some time mapping it out. And we love doing that for the VIP attendees. Yeah, it's you get a mastermind group and they meet as a group there and set a schedule there. Yeah, that's going to be a big part of it for sure.
Yeah, and this will be my first one where I'm on the other side. But every time I went, I always wanted to meet my coaches. I got to, I've done coaching with Leanna, Nathan, and well, I never met my very first RA coach. She didn't go to the first conference that I went.
Conference, yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're a coach. You got people coming up to you.
Yes, and I can't wait to meet any of my clients who are there. I can't wait to meet them. It's just the relationship is what it's about. In a nutshell, the conference, the relationship is what it's about. The presenters are great. It's always awesome information, but the relationship is what it's all about.
Yeah. And you mentioned, being there in person. It's such a different thing because one of the things I've noticed, and we've done many of these at this point, 13, 14 coming up, there's just so few places you can go in our culture where success as an entrepreneur is celebrated and encouraged, and you're motivated to do more of it. There's just so few places. There's not very many places. One of the things I've shared a few times at the opening, I think it's a really good thing to put in everyone's head at the beginning of a couple of the things I typically share at the beginning is there's not anywhere else where you can go and just walk up to pretty much anyone with a name tag and say, hey, how's business? How's it going? Tell me what's working. Teach me something. What's not working? How can I help with that? There's just not a lot of places where you can spend 3 days randomly bumping into, and everyone, 95% of the people are like, oh yeah, let me talk to you about here's where I'm at. Here's what's working. Have you ever heard of Amazon to Walmart flips? Are you kidding me? No, what's that? I didn't know you could do that. All right, well, let me show you what's working. Like you break it open. That's the way these events in 3 days move your business forward. I've been saying 6 to 9 months in 3 days.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the ideas, the connections, the things, the aha moments. No one leaves without a list of like 20 things. I've got to go start doing this right now. It's a good event. It's like day one, the first few hours, you're like, you've already got 8 things you got to go home and do. It's like, I'm going to have to break this down. It's going to take, you got to pick 2 or 3, right? And make sure I do them, because otherwise this is a crazy list of good ideas and great ideas. I even teach a little bit on right ideas, like the difference between a good idea and a right idea. You got to get good at that because there's so much.
Right. Absolutely.
So excited to be presenting. So what are you excited to present about? What topics are on your mind this year?
Oh, I think A to A and Walmart would probably be what I would like to. So maybe even A to W, and then just Walmart in general. Those would probably be the 3 things.
Sounds like a great session to me. Maybe a couple sessions. Got to get you on the schedule, get you out there. Because you really are. I mean, I hear your name come up a lot, Elizabeth. There's like, oh yeah, another great story coming from Elizabeth, another coaching student, loving spending time. And you've contributed so much value, so much creativity, and you've got the right attitude, just the abundance-minded attitude. And
thank you. I'm honored. I'm very honored. I loved helping my students. And when I hear that I have actually really helped them in a big way, I'm very honored by that. So.
And that's what we look for. There's only 2 things that we look for. And I know you know this, Elizabeth, but I am sometimes genuinely asked, how have you built an organization of dozens of coaches, 60 or so coaches, and some cases you've never spent more than a few minutes with any of them?
Yeah.
I said, there's the only 2 things we're looking for. And these are great qualifiers. If they got a teacher's heart, like you just illustrated, right? Meaning they celebrate the success of others, especially if they had some input. Like, oh, it's like that baby bird taking flight. They just get
Yeah.
excited. They look around like, did you see that? That's amazing. I helped teach them how to do some of that, right?
Right.
They celebrate, and they're doing it successfully themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If I know you've got those two things, I don't need to know a whole lot else about you. Your
Right.
age, your gender, your education, where you live in the world, your economic background before you got into business, like, what university you went. I could care less. If I know those two things about you, welcome aboard. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how we built the whole team. And you're a great example of that. Well, what else is on your mind, if anything? Any tips or anything you're noticing lately? Any encouragements for the listeners? Just kind of pretend it's your show and I'm not here. What else would you talk about?
Oh gosh, I would just say, keep going. For new sellers especially, keep at it. Sourcing is a skill that you learn, and practice will help you learn it.
Mm-hmm.
The more you practice, the better you get. So just keep at it. Keep your mindset in a good place, because you can do it.
Yeah,
If
you
I can do
absolutely can.
it, you can do it.
Yeah. That's one of the things I love about this show is it's such an excuse killer.
Right?
You listen to enough episodes, you're going to find you're going to find a good handful of people who are not as qualified,
Right.
not as motivated. They started with way more disadvantages than you have, and they built a beautiful business. Like, what are you going to do with that? Like,
Right.
okay, I should be able to, if they can and they can and they can. That's one of the reasons I love the interview episodes. It's because I can just hear it out there killing people's excuses, destroying them.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well done. It's a pleasure to work with you, and the future is very bright. Lots of exciting things in the works, and it's just it's great having you on the show again.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. It was fun talking.
Yeah, good
I
to
could
catch
talk
up with you.
Amazon all day.
Yeah, well, this is the only time I get to catch up with some of our coaches, is to get them back on a podcast episode. Busy lives and busy schedules and building beautiful businesses. It's rarely do we cross paths unless I get them on a podcast. So it's great to see you again, Elizabeth.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
So for the listeners who hung out with us today, if this was one of your first episodes and you liked what you heard, I've got some excellent news for you. Scroll back in time, you're going to hear hundreds of great episodes, dozens of recent episodes of students whose lives have been changed by this community, by the things that we teach here. And we'd love to do that for you as well. Maybe it's just our free resources and that's all you need to really get you going. That's awesome. We'd love that. Maybe it's some low cost $39 a month proven Amazon course, which is our flagship Amazon seller training that has all of our Amazon content. $39 a month is an insane price. Turn it off anytime you want, or dive in and go through the step-by-step process. Especially if you're brand new, you really need some good education and training, or you're most likely going to mess something up and get derailed and make some mistakes you'll regret. Got to get in there and do it the right way. ProvenAmazonCourse.com. You heard Elizabeth and I talk quite a bit today about the Proven Conference, which is coming up the last 3 days of May 2025. Come join us for that. TheProvenConference.com is the website. Get your tickets. The hotel we've secured, it's the same place we were at last year, Elizabeth. Same place. Did you like the resort last year?
Yeah, it was great. Great.
I thought so too. If you get a chance to stay in the tower is my advice. Because some people are like, the noise and like, hey, stay in the tower. It's just like any other hotel.
Okay.
But for a little over $100 a night,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful rooms that typically cost $300 or so in the season. Yeah, get down there, bring the family right next to SeaWorld, 40 breakout sessions. Elizabeth's going to be doing 5 or 6 sessions? No, I'm just kidding. We'll get you 1 or 2, maybe a panel, something like that. But we've got such great leaders on our team. We'd love to have you be a part of it. But if you're new to our community, checking our podcast out, thanks for being a part of this. But do listen to a few more episodes. If you want to schedule a call, this is my last announcement. Schedule a call with us to have a conversation. Maybe you want to get into coaching, work one-on-one with someone like Elizabeth or one of the other great leaders on our team. You can schedule a chat with us. We'll tell you all the details and give you some great free resources. We say leave you better than we found you every single time. It's not a high pressure thing. We just want to be helpful and help create a good roadmap for you. Go to silentjim.com/book a call, all one word, book a call. There's a text number there. You can call us anytime or schedule a slot and we will be excited to jump on a Zoom call with you and talk you through, or just jump on the phone and let's do that. Good next step if you're wondering what this stuff is all about. All right, Elizabeth, one last time. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you again.
Yes, thank you so much. It was good to see you.
Thank you. And for the listeners who hung out with us today, many, many more great episodes coming your way very soon. Thanks for being the best part of our show. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for joining us for today's episode. Before I let you go, let's spend a couple minutes, though, with my good friend Khang, who is the creator of 3P Mercury software. You can find out more at silentjimdotcom/thesystem. Hundreds of listeners to our show are already using this software to completely automate the workflow of their Amazon and soon other platforms as well. Khang, fill us in. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to announce that we are now officially a Walmart approved software vendor. And you can even go to your Walmart selling account and go to apps and look under the full service apps, and we'll be listed under there. And what that does for us is that we're now able to open up 3P Mercury's workflow out to Walmart. And, like you mentioned, the hundreds of users that are already using it for their Amazon business, it is really streamlining their workflow in terms of selling on Amazon. But for Walmart, there isn't really a whole lot of solutions out there right now that does this type of thing. In fact, I sell on Walmart myself, and oftentimes I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm profitable on Walmart because of there's just lack of solutions of being able to track your inventory, how much you paid, how much you sold, things like what you can do right now with 3P Mercury on the Amazon's platform of being able to start from an ASIN and track it all the way down to shipment and then replenishment, financial reports, things like that. We're not able to do that on the Walmart platform. And when we started this beta program out to our hundreds of users, one of the first things they said is are you going to open this up to Walmart? Because we're kind of lost on this platform. And so I really started down this journey of being able to, apply for being a Walmart software vendor. And, we've recently been approved, fully approved. We've been under the development process with them for a few months now, but now we've been able to show them that we're able to build out the software and connect to their system successfully. So we are fully approved now. So look out for, our Walmart integration to be released very, very soon.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, well done. I know you're making constant improvements based on feedback from the community. We even call this the first ever crowdsourced software solution for the Amazon reselling community and now Walmart as well. And I'm sure many great other features and ideas are coming. We wanted to create the from A to Z workflow software solution for sellers, and we're well on our way, man. You're doing a great job. Keep hearing great feedback. So yeah, thanks for jumping on our podcast once a week or so for the updates. Anything else on your mind before I let you go for this one?
Real quick, to mention the A to Z as well, another exciting update is right after Walmart, and we're kind of building it in tandem as well as the shipping software. So keep out on that as well, because what we really want to do is make this a full A to Z workflow software from sourcing all the way to shipping and replenishment. So look out for that as well.
Beautiful. Yes. We are in dire need of great shipping solutions as sellers, especially as Amazon makes all these changes. So I love that we've got this moldable system. You've got such a great team, and you've got such a great engineering programmer mind as well. For those who aren't familiar with Khang, want to get to know the man behind this machine a little more, go listen to episode 754 or visit silentjim.com/thesystem to get more information about this product. There's a good episode of the podcast on there as well where we go a little deeper on it. But good hanging out with you, my friend. Let's do this again next week. What do you say?
Thanks.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon.